right. You are tuned into Your Inspiration Health 1 year anniversary. I am Nikki B.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kurt Billups. And we got my man E. Washington up in there. Eric Washington from the health department. He's getting his camera together, y'all. So y'all can't see what I can see. He's trying to get Nikki live together. Right. Okay.
But you
always a gentleman. Always a gentleman.
Take your daggone phone.
Nah, I just said it right where it was.
Oh, my bad.
So we are, Nikki, we are officially
a
year into this, 2 years into this. How many years?
We are 1 year.
1 year into this program.
Today.
And the original cast of this program started out with?
It was me, Eric, and Damien. That was round one. We walked in the studio one day. It was brand new.
Unannounced.
Yes.
Like,
so you got thrown into it.
Can you meet us at the radio station? Then I got kicked off.
Eric did not get kicked off. Eric disappeared. Yes, and Kurt came in. He stepped right on up, and we've been going strong ever since.
That's what's up. I'm glad. Yes. Listen, I want to thank. 1 year into this thing, I want to thank obviously Nikki for inviting me to be a part of the program, and Damien Hoskins.
We miss you, D.
With Art Waves. Now, Damien, man, we miss you, man. We shout out to you, and I want to thank you guys for inviting me to the program. It's been a pleasure doing it. I also want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, Mercy Health.
Right.
Where would we be without you?
Right. So we want to thank our sponsors at Mercy Health.
Yeah.
We also have to thank the countless guests. We had some pretty amazing people on this show. I mean, from Dr. Kane to Dr. Robinson, Dr. Melvin. Name off some more people. I mean, we had Eric's done spots. I was just going there, bro. Eric Washington has been on the show. Listen, I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't get to name dropping because we hit everybody, different organizations, different people. But
we're thankful.
And I want to encourage everybody that's live right now. If y'all got questions, health and wellness, what's going on with health fairs this year, what's going on with the city with programming, the health department. Eric is here from the health department. You have me, community health and wellness, Nikki Bean, community health and wellness. Also,
I'm Nikki Bean.
Avondale Internal Medicine. Community, that's right. Community action. She about action. So what does that mean? You about action?
I'm just in action right now.
That's about action.
He's in action.
It's about action, right?
Yes.
Community action is taken.
No.
Nikki
action.
Nikki action.
Nikki's
community action. Nikki B's community action.
Look at his face.
Well, I think Eric said, don't get me in trouble on it.
I do what?
So, Nikki, I know that you had said that you had a few surprises and you wanted to talk. Listen, I can go with the flow.
I know, right?
Come on with it.
Okay, so when we first started the show, we were just basically talking about health, right? So today, because I never get this opportunity, we are going to do some Ask Kurt the Fitness questions.
Yes!
Right? Because Kurt always gets away from this and he wants to, we got to ask him. Yes. But today, Kurt, question number one.
Yo.
Why is it that when you are on, it's always personal.
Yep.
So why is it that when you're on the elliptical, I might burn in those 30 minutes, 300 calories. But today when I did a full weight machines, and then I went back and did like my jumping jacks and all of that, same amount of time, 30 minutes, but I burned 575 calories.
So you about burned more.
Burned way more.
Yeah.
Why?
Why is that, Kurt?
All right. So I'll say it in a couple of different ways. And it's interesting that you brought this question up because I can do a mile on a treadmill, a relaxed mile, all right, at 6 miles an hour on a treadmill. 6 miles an hour on a treadmill is equivalent to a 10-minute mile. That makes sense? So if you're running at 6 miles an hour, you're going to average 10 minutes, right? Wow. You'll get a mile every 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said 6?
Yeah, 6 miles an hour.
That's moving.
That's okay. Now wait a minute though. You ready? 6 miles an hour on the elliptical. That same mile takes me close to 12 minutes, about 11 and a half minutes. So here's what people have to understand. Some machines are more restrictive than others.
Okay.
Because of the ergonomics, because of the functionality. So you can go the distance, but it's a little bit more effort to get there. You see? And so when you got to doing it just your body weight, you're able to just cut loose. There is no restriction.
Okay.
You're able to just get into this, get into that, go. The machine is not, you're not having to pull the big gears, move the big arms. So you're able to keep your heart rate at that rate at a longer time because you don't have to put out as much other efforts in other areas.
Wow.
So it's just between you and your body. So you're able to just go ham and go hard. No different than if you was able to get on a treadmill and just run straight out, linear running. You would go a lot further in a shorter period of time. If you ran that same amount of time on the elliptical, you'd get a shorter distance.
So I know it's all about personal preference. Which will you prefer in terms of getting in shape? Or
That's a great question. I prefer what she said she did as an alternative.
Oh.
Okay, so what we're recommending now, especially in health and wellness, we're learning that linear running.
Which is, explain to them, which is
straight line running.
Yeah.
Straight line running.
Yeah.
Linear running, straight line running is for somebody who's trying to lose weight, for somebody who's not really in fitness mindset yet, that actually can create more stress in their body. It can actually raise cortisol levels. And if your cortisol levels start to raise, it makes it that much more difficult to lose the weight. So some people that are trying to do cardio on treadmills and do that linear run are actually creating more stress in their body, making it more difficult for the body to lose weight. Whereas if they were to get into burst training or HIIT training, high intensity interval training, where they could allow their body to work at its own pace and hit it. Your body has its own max heart rate. It has its own targets. Your target heart rate has nothing to do with mine. Mine ain't got nothing to do with Nikki's. Right. The way my body functions is going to be different than the way your body functions. So Nikki needs to put herself in a position where she can get maximum heart rate function, maximum output with minimum restrictions, so that she can get the most bang for her movement and the most bang for her time. Does that make sense or no?
It does.
Yeah.
Right. So is there a question on there? No. Or then,
we'll say for instance, if somebody's really just starting week one, day one.
Yeah.
What do you kind of recommend? Because I think what happened, people try to go all in.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like that, burn themselves out. Why not just gradually build up?
So
because we walk right in the gym and it's like, oh, treadmill, elliptical.
Right.
You try to do what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just just in general, just lifting weights. Just everybody try to go extremely hard. Day one.
Right. Because what happens is because you have primarily there are two types of mindsets when it comes to weight loss. So you have what I define as, and actually I'll give props to my good friend, not doctor, she should be, but I give a good friend to Donna Kretsch out in Lima, Ohio with Fitness Solutions 24/7. Me and Donna have done some tremendous work together in Lima. And Donna identified it with two mindsets. And what she said, Kurt, one of them is a weight loss mentality.
Yeah.
The other one is a fitness mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that come into this space are coming in for weight loss. They're not fitness minded.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so this is why they go so aggressively and so intensely. Because if their goal is to just lose weight and not have a lifestyle that accompanies that, then you're gonna just go nuts on it and try to get much done you can. You burn out, you stall out quicker, and you never adopt the lifestyle. Yeah. So what we do now is, we try to get people that come to us in weight loss mentality and help them to graduate into a fitness mindset. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is the reason why it happens that way.
Can I you said mindset, because mindset is the key.
Yep.
Because it is a mindset. It's a change. It's a behavior change, which actually starts with the mind. In terms of where you want to go, how you want to do it, and when you want to do it.
Right.
And a lot of times, like you said, a lot of people burn out.
Right.
Quickly in week one,
yes.
Day one.
Yeah, and so when you say what's the thing that I recommend to people the first time? So when people come to a facility, fitness facility, or people come to a space where I'm housed, we're housing our training department. The first thing that we encourage a person to do, even if you join a gym, whatever gym you join, I don't care where you're going. Once you join that gym, the first goal that I want you to set for yourself is to show up at least twice a week. Just forget about how much you do.
Yeah.
Forget about if you did 10 minutes, if it was a mile. Fix your mind to say, I didn't put this money into this investment. I've made this investment. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show up at least twice a week. Start there.
At least.
So once you get in the habit of actually showing up to the space where you're going to do your exercise performance activity, then you start to peel it back. It's layers to it. Mm-hmm. Just like the body is made up. Everything is layered, man. So you have to start it off just because you're coming in for weight loss. The ideal is to keep you into this thing with a fitness mindset. So come in with I'm going to be committed to doing 2-3 days a week here. See if you can keep up with that first. And get the notion of having to do days a week. None of us are working out for days at a time. Mm-hmm. It's literally 2 to 3 hours or an hour and a half a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really what you're talking about. So when people say to me, I don't have time, it's all nonsense. It's all BS. There's no way you can... It's not even that. I won't even challenge that. Whatever. You can't tell me that out of a 24-hour day, even if you sleep 8 of them, You got 16 hours left to work with. You cannot tell me that it is impossible for you to get 30 to 40 minutes of physical activity in a week, or 50 to 60 minutes. That's a lie. Yeah. So rule number 2, stop lying.
Yep.
Stop lying to yourself.
Stop lying.
Yeah.
Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop saying you ain't got time. You're sitting in your house right now, sitting on your couch right now with time to do some squats.
And you also
time to do some jumping jacks.
And you also made a point that you don't necessarily have to go to a gym. The world is a gym.
The whole world is a gym. The whole place is made for movement. This whole thing is made for movement.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is organize your mind and organize yourself in a way that you start to realize that and start to pick what movements you're going to do. If the movement is just wake up,
I got another question.
Go to work, take care of the kids, go to bed, wake up, but that ain't much of an existence. Movement, it can be happening in all kind of other ways. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the question is, and I don't know if this theory worked, but say for instance, I don't even know if I want to talk about that.
Ask it.
Bring it up.
So for instance, like say if you want to work on your stomach or your gut, right?
Yeah.
You know, so and a lot of I'm trying to put this in the right frame.
Yeah.
So why not prioritize things you want to work on first? Like say for instance, if your gut is your thing,
I'm glad you're saying this. Thank you for bringing this up.
Why not concentrate on your stomach or
Yeah.
your abs for a while,
and
then kind of gradually go from abs, go to arms, go to chest, go to back. I think what happens a lot of times, people try to hit it all.
Yep.
Maybe in a week, the back, the legs, and not really understand exactly what they want to work on. Why not look at your body? Maybe take a picture of your body and say, well, I need to work on this. I need to work on my legs, or I need to work on my arms. And focus on those areas. Build those up so you can feel comfortable and then move on to the next.
And there's another piece to that, what you just said. And I said that because I think some people do, like, it's like, we walk, I got to get my legs right, I got my butt right, whatever it may be. And then it turns, but then we don't give it time, we give it 1 week and then it turns to, oops, I don't see the results that I want to see, I don't have a six-pack. You're not going to have a six-pack, just that quickly, and then we stop.
And so that's one part of it. And the second part of it, of course, is diet. Is an 80-20 rule. Is there a rule such as 80-20?
Yeah,
80% of it.
78% of diet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big piece of it too. I mean,
so here's the thing. Here's the thing you have to look at, right? So what you're talking about is what we call spot reduction, and what people believe in is that when they look at those areas that they really want to affect more, so back arms, say I want to lose here, Kurt, or they grab their gut and say, I want to lose here, Kurt, or they grab their butt and they say, I want to lose this, or I want to tighten and firm this up. Okay. The truth of the matter is, it is when you approach your health, you approach your wellness, and you approach this organ called muscle, because it is an organ, which we forget a lot of times, and it's very important that we see it as an organ, and not just a bunch of flesh and tissue. It's an organ. But when you address this organ called muscle, the idea is, yes, you want to target the whole thing. But the problem that people have, when you start going after one area at a time, you get so concerned with that one area that not only do you neglect the other areas, but you also cause that area to atrophy.
Atrophy, good word.
Because what will happen is you'll keep it in such a beaten down state that it never has time to rest. This process is breakdown and repair. The repair is the rest.
Yes.
So I tell people all the time, we plant the seeds, God grows the trees. All we doing is going in and breathing the body down. The nature takes care of the rest. So all you got to do is do the work, plant the seed, and the nature will take care of the rest. And so you don't need to necessarily get inspired with this, but here's where people get in trouble. Where they get in trouble is they do get on spot reduction. They go after one body part, but then when they go after multiple body parts, they overdo it. You got to gradually work yourself back into this because depending on your fitness level, if your body is not able to recover in enough time, you'll create a poison in your body. We call it it's called rhabdomyolysis. It's when you put your body under extreme, intense exertion, and your body cannot repair itself in time because you're secreting different chemicals into the blood. Myoglobin is the one that I'm referring to. And that comes from the myosin in the actin head in the muscle. So that myoglobin goes into your bloodstream. If your body cannot repair itself in an adequate amount of time after that post-workout, that same secretion becomes a poison. And it's often mistaken for the virus. The urine becomes black, you start feeling sick, you feel like you got a virus. You actually got a poison going through your body.
Wow.
And so this has happened to countless people. Look up the epidemics of the in cases of rhabdomyolysis with fitness,
Kurt, I can't even spell that.
associated with wait a minute, associated with CrossFit, associated with high intensity workouts.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to be careful with this stuff. Associated with some boot camp type workouts.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful. So when you approach your health, you got to approach it as a complete health and wellness package. Look at fitness, look at exercise as part of your health care, as part of your prevention, as part of your own care for self. 80-20 meant that this is what they used to say. 80% of this is diet.
Yeah.
Here's the statistics they don't tell you. 80% of people who diet fail.
Oh, yeah.
So so forget about 80 of it is diet. Talk to me about 80% of it
fail.
Fail.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So now what that means is this, because diet is still hinged on weight loss. Diet as definition, it really technically means what you put into your body, your basic diet, what you put into your body every day. Diet, because of the fanaticism over weight loss, became all of these different fad diets.
Yeah.
And so now diet has a bad word. But diet comes from digestion. And what you're putting into your body matters. And so how your diet works is quintessential to your metabolism. It's quintessential to your bowel movements. It's quintessential to your... It's everything.
Yeah.
And so when you master your diet, not get on a diet. Don't get on a diet. Master a diet.
Right.
And have a diet that works for your life. And then that's how you get beyond that point.
So a couple things. One, so this has to be really quick, and I know. So, one, Kurt, 3 things for the person that wants to lose their gut.
3 things. 3 things you want to do if you want to lose, if you want to start experience. And I'm going to tell you right now, you lose the gut. A lot of our health complications with chronic and preventable diseases are starting in the gut. So we're talking about cholesterol. We're talking about blood pressure. We're talking about diabetes. Okay, that gut is a big indicator.
Huge.
Of a lot of things. Okay,
heart disease.
That's stomach, heart disease. That gut is a telltale.
I told somebody that.
So people used to get mad at me because I used to tell people, you ain't got to tell me necessarily how you eat and what you think. I can look at your gut and tell. And I wasn't being judgmental. You can tell by the gut, right? Okay. So the gut.
Yeah, Mr. Eric is in here.
Hey, I've been working on this.
Eric is losing his gut.
Yeah, Eric's great. His gut's great.
Rule number 1, Nick, if I was to say to you, rule number 1, cut out as much processed sugar as you can.
Yep.
Right.
And that's
get rid of as much sugar as you can. Here's the danger with sugar. There's 680,000 items on grocery shelves across the United States. 80% of them contain some form of sugar. There's over 250 names for sugar today. So you have to be very strategic, very smart about how you're putting it into it. The easiest way to figure that out, start gravitating towards more leafy greens, fruits, and vegetables. Yeah. That's the way to go. Rule number 2, realize this. Real food rots. If it's real food, it spoils. It doesn't have a long shelf life. So start shopping, start going after real nutrient-rich foods, not nutrient-poor foods, nutrient-rich foods. And then rule number 3, increase your activity. You have to increase your level of activity. I'm not saying you necessarily have to do a bunch of ab exercises. If you're doing a bunch of ab exercises, trust me, man, it's good because you're strengthening your core. You don't do ab exercises to get a six-pack.